Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Tonight on Our News, new cabinet ministers appointed, a mix of new and familiar faces. The state of emergency under review with a new attorney general. The F&M plans the next steps. And cats find new uses for election lawn signs. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, 9 cabinet ministers were sworn in by Governor General Sir Cornelius A. Smith during a nearly 2-hour-long ceremony at Baha Mar this afternoon. Jasmine Brown was there and has this report.
Davis telling a room full of supporters today why he chose these 8 to take up the new cabinet post, as he says he is confident that they can handle the job ahead.
We're not here to tinker at the edges of these problems. We're here to meet them head on.
Glenys Hannah Martin, MP-elect for Anglerston, was sworn in as Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training. Wayne Munro QC, MP-elect for Freetown, was sworn in as Minister of National Security. Senator Ryan Pinder was sworn in as Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs. Fred Mitchell, MP-elect for Fox Hill, was sworn in as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Public Service. Alfred Sayers, MP-elect for Fort Charlotte, was sworn in as Minister of Works and Utilities. Jomo Campbell, MP-elect for Centerville, was sworn in as Minister of State for Legal Affairs. Senator Michael Halkitis was sworn in as Minister of Economic Affairs and Leader of Government Business in the Senate. Dr. Michael Darville, MP-elect for Tall Pines, was sworn in as Minister of Health and Wellness. Clay Sweeting, MP-elect for South and Central Eleuthera, was sworn in as Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs. Hannah Martin, Munro and Darville spoke to our news team moments after the ceremony ended.
There's a lot of work to be done to transform the way in which our children are educated and empowered intellectually, culturally, and as humans.
Tomorrow morning I would be at the Ministry of Health. First of all, getting a panoramic view of what is happening. I would speak with the experts, and after speaking with the experts, we would be able to make an assessment of where we are and what would be some of the first initial protocols that we will have to implement.
The first plan is to get into the ministry and to take stock. We have said from a long time ago that preventing crime has more to do with the police. It has a lot more to do with the community.
Davis said ministers are the initial members of a cabinet which will reflect the breadth and depth of the competencies and characteristics of the PLP's team.
Experience combined with innovation.
Cabinet appointments are expected to continue this week. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
The new Attorney General, Ryan Pinder, says he's ready to hit the ground running. Berthany McDermott has that.
Attorney General Ryan Pinder doubling down on the Progressive Liberal Party's stance to do away with the state of emergency.
We are looking to not go emergency order to emergency order, but to set up a framework in existence in legislation that will allow us to govern in these instances of pandemics without having to put emergency orders in place and have that oversight over the Bahamian people.
The Bahamas has been under a state of emergency since March 2020. Since its implementation, there have been countless extensions, with the current SOE set to expire on November 13th. The newly minted AG also stressing his nonsense position on corruption.
We cannot tolerate any kind of perceived corruption, whether it exists or not, and we cannot tolerate the appearance of impropriety, whether it exists or not.
Pinder also touched on other issues like campaign finance reform and term limits for prime ministers.
I think we do need predictability in campaign finance in this country. We've gone a little too long without having that. You look at our peers, and our peers are all looking at a transparent method in which you conduct elections in a particular country. And I think that that is the world standard and international best practices, and I always advocate that we govern and act and conduct ourselves in a manner that is international best practices and accepted worldwide.
The former Minnis administration promised campaign finance reform and term limits for prime ministers during its term in office, but it didn't happen. Pindner, who also served as financial services minister under the former Christie administration, says he also wants to improve the ease of doing business.
The legislative and bureaucratic impediments to business and getting into business and succeeding in business, especially of Bahamians, I think it's very important that we loosen those reins and that we allow businesses to thrive and we allow Bahamians to thrive. And that's a chief concern of mine.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Well, with the numbers in, it appears Thursday's general election saw the lowest voter turnout in the history of the modern Bahamas. But some observers are questioning whether the F&M simply couldn't get its base out to vote. Kyle Joaquin takes a look.
They didn't come because too much thing was going on in the Bahamas.
There could be a number of reasons Bahamians decided to stay home on Election Day. Taking a look at the numbers, out of the 194,000 people on the register, only 126,000 came out to vote, a voter turnout rate of 65%, the lowest in the history of the modern Bahamas. Compare that to 2017, when there was a voter turnout of 88%, which at that time was the lowest since 1987.
I didn't vote because of the COVID, and I didn't vote because it's the same people going in power.
But then you have those who put the low voter turnout squarely in the lap of Dr. Hubert Minnis.
I think a lot of people were vexed with Minnis because they don't like the way he governed, the way he handled the pandemic, and the way he handled people, Bahamian people in general. So a lot of F&Ms didn't even come out and vote.
Because I believe the politician wasn't doing their job.
Politicians weren't doing the job?
Yeah, the F&M. Yeah, the government wasn't doing the things they're supposed to do.
And now all eyes are on the F&M and what happens next after that crushing defeat during the general election, a snap election, which the party's leader called. The F&M now finding itself licking its wounds once again, similar to the blowout at the polls in 2012. This time around, the leader has stated his intention to stay on as leader of the party and the opposition. It's a move we understand many F&Ms are not happy with. And now there is a special call executive meeting set for Tuesday and a central council meeting on Wednesday. The party's chairman, Carl Culmer, insists there is no battle surrounding leadership, rather an analysis of what went wrong.
There's always, after the election, persons will try to look at leadership and say, what did we do right, what did we do wrong? But the council and the executive will decide where we go from there. I don't want to preempt them.
With only 7 seats in Parliament, there's slim pickings for the F&M. But names of a possible replacement are already emerging, including Michael Pintard in Marco City. The party also has the option of selecting a leader who is not in the House of Assembly.
At the end of the day, we'll come out with a plan to win the government at the next election. We're not going to let this get us down. I know we have the skill sets and we have the power within the party to reshape ourselves and come back.
Again, people are just waiting to see what happens during tomorrow's executive meeting and then the Central Council meeting on Wednesday. For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Partly sunny skies in the capital. Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with the latest.
Thanks, Christina. Our first look at weather tonight is brought to you by Ports International, trusted medical supplies for a better quality of life. Warm again today around the islands. Temperatures in the mid-80s right now outside our studios with few passing clouds. It's humid. Temperatures are making it feel like in the triple digits. Winds out of the east at 5 knots and your face-like temperature in the mid to upper 80s. Beautiful conditions around the islands today. That ridge of high pressure dominating. We still have some tropical moisture across the northwest Bahamas generating a few showers. Those conditions will continue throughout the rest of the night. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, what some Bahamians think about the change in curfew hours. A mother remembers her daughter killed at Munnings Road, plus how election campaign signs are getting new life. That's coming up when Our News returns.
We do it better. We do it better.
Since eating at KFC, John was appointed the Savings Ambassador. Get a mega crazy bundle with 9 pieces of freshly prepared hot and juicy KFC chicken and mega-sized servings of creamy coleslaw and fluffy mashed potatoes smothered in home-style gravy. All for only $22. Save like an expert, only on Tuesdays and only at KFC Nassau.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Extended curfew hours are being welcomed with open arms by many Bahamians who say the later time gives them a chance to get things done before 9 p.m. But as Jared Higgs tells us, there are still some concerns about the impact a later curfew may have on COVID-19 cases.
It's like somebody had your knee in your chest so long and they just take some of the pressure off.
With one of his first acts as Prime Minister, Philip Davis rolled the curfew back to 11:59 p.m., telling reporters the next day there was no rhyme or reason to changing the curfew only for election night. The move has been welcomed by many Bahamians who are grateful for the new freedom.
I love it. I mean, it's good, especially for like businesses.
Give us more time to be out and do what we gotta do.
11:59. Might as well just take the curfew off on the whole. That's my personal preference.
New Providence has had a curfew since March 2020. On some nights, that curfew was as early as 7 p.m. Since early August, the curfew on New Providence and Grand Bahama has been 9 p.m. Now, with it pushed back nearly 3 hours, many residents say there's a greater sense of normalcy.
Just mentally, it makes you feel like, hey, I'm released. You know, freedom. So I love it.
I am glad that there has been a curfew extension, more so for a lot of people who are out of work or had to cut their hours back. I think it's good. You know, it'll help the economy a little bit more.
But there are critics who say the later curfew will result in larger gatherings and more people socializing. Officials have long urged residents to abide by health protocols.
They're out drinking and all of that, taking home that no mask, taking home all that COVID to the family. I think that's terrible.
A lot of people, you know, express happiness about, you know, like the freedom, because we've been under curfew so long.
Yeah, but we could still wait a little longer.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Shifting gears now, 3 years after a young woman lost her life when her car collided with barricades on Munnings Road, her family says they can finally heal now that those boulders are gone. Jillian Gray tells us more.
And give him the glory, great things he has done.
In an emotional candlelight vigil, family members of Garvanisha Carey say they finally have some closure now that the barricade is gone.
These boulders being removed allowed me to grieve for the first time. Hallelujah. So what y'all saw here was a mother's first time releasing the grief for a loved one. What those boulders stood for and what they took away from me.
It's been 3 years since the tragic accident that killed Carey. Her mother, Patrice Hannah Carey, says she could not grieve for more than 3 years, but finally started the process of healing Thursday night. She lamented that she never got an apology or phone call from the former administration and remembers watching the news to hear the Prime Minister say this.
I am a politician. I am not a technical man.
Was due process done before the road was closed?
That road has been addressed on numerous occasions, so I have nothing else to say about that. Okay? Let me go for lunch.
Can you imagine what it is to be disregarded in that way? I had no peace. For your acts, you will not be forgotten. But for your acts, you will be so much forgotten.
The young mother passed just 3 days after her son turned 3. Now 6, Carey says she tries to keep Garvanisha's memory alive for her son, Ambrion.
I always lift him up and take him to all the photographs. I sit him down and take him to the photographs because I want him to know that woman.
When the road was closed on May 3, 2018, it sparked outrage from the public who criticized the move. While no one knows who moved the boulders on election night, Hannah Carey calls that person a good Samaritan.
Thank you, Good Samaritan. Miss Hannah Carey owes you a very great debt of gratitude. And to our leaders now, I want to say thank you in advance. Thank you in advance for not letting this injustice go.
Community leaders, including Leslie Miller, stood with the family and said they will support the petition to rename the road in Carey's honor. Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Ahead on our news, cats are sporting party colors, but not for the reason you think, and Bahamian Jonquil Jones continues to shine. The details when our news returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Cheers to taking the trash out. Cheers to taking the dog out. Cheers to not giving up. Cheers to taking the trash out. Cheers to taking the dog out. Cheers to not giving up.
This is a PSA from We Buy, You Sell. The protection of your businesses, homes, and families is very important. We Buy, You Sell offers the best in hurricane impact windows and doors designed to withstand all categories of hurricanes, with prices beating our competitors by up to 50%. We also specialize in porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We Buy, You Sell, located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy, You Sell. Come and see us today.
Imagine. All Rev TV customers now have equal access to premium content. You no longer have to subscribe to Rev TV Pro to enjoy add-ons like HBO and Star Premium. Simply subscribe to Prime, then choose your add-ons. And now there are even more bundles to choose from. Sign up today and start watching TV your way, September 1st. To learn more, call our Rev Imagine team at 603-6520.
This is our news. Welcome back. Former government ministers say all hands need to be on deck to get the Bahamas out of the current economic crisis. Giorgio Bain reports.
Prime Minister Philip Davis will need all hands on deck to get the country on the road to recovery, according to former Prime Minister Perry Christie, who said while Davis has his work cut out for him, he is willing to assist if called on.
As Brave Davis said, as the Governor General said, no government by itself can have the success it wants to have unless it has the flexibility to involve the private sector, to involve people who are willing to serve. I'm sure that those of us who have been in office would be prepared, if asked, to give any kind of assistance that he may require.
Christie weighed in following the ceremonial swearing in of Davis as Prime Minister and Chester Cooper as Deputy Prime Minister. Former Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller says it all boils down to who has the experience.
If I'm called upon, I will do so. But the obligation is his. They have a government to run. I think they're going to need all of us who have that experience over the years in getting things done and clearing the path for the younger ones to learn and get themselves acclimated with the governmental structure and how it's run. That's important that you call on those who have been there to assist those who just arrived.
According to Miller, it is important that the new MPs learn from those who have gone before them.
Some can have egos, and they're the ones who are going to fall along the pathway. But I trust that they have enough sense in their head that you go to those who have been there just to get some assistance. Say, listen, how do you do this? What decision you would make? But they got to remember one thing: whatever decision the this government make must be for and on behalf of the Bahamian people.
Reporting for our news, I'm Georgia Bain.
Jonquil Jones and the Suns stay red hot with win number 14 in a row. Marcellus Hall has the highlights tonight in sports.
Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Talk about being red hot. Jonquil Jones and the Connecticut Sun, they've been just that, and more. 14 wins in a row, going for 14 wins in a row into their final game of the season. And let's see if they were able to get it done, as the night ended up pretty good for Jonquil, the MVP candidate. Jonquil Jones, Connecticut Sun, looking to end the regular season on a high note. They took on the Atlanta Dream, and let's just say, for the Dream, it turned out to be a nightmare. Connecticut Sun rolling to their 14th straight regular season win. They end the season in grand fashion at 26-6, first in the Eastern Conference, in fact, first in the entire WNBA in terms of win-loss record. How about our girl Jonquil Jones? She had a pretty good day, continuing her quest towards the MVP award, which for pretty much intents and purposes looks to be a shoo-in. She had 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Another double-double for her. She continues to lead the league in that category. The Connecticut Sun right now with a bye into the semifinals of the WNBA, and they're looking to see who they'll face once the playoffs get underway. And that, of course, is just a few days away. Jonquil Jones and the Sun rolling right along. Meanwhile, talking about the opposite end of the spectrum, stringing together wins has been a huge problem for Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins. Last night, taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates, hoping to get a rare win. It would take them 10 innings, but they would get the job done. Jazz 1 for 4 in the evening with a run scored. Turns out that was pretty big. They go on to win 6-5. Season winding down. Jazz and, of course, his squad just hoping to play spoiler down the stretch. How about Monday Night Football? That comes your way this evening as Week 2 rounds off with a good matchup on the agenda for you. After a good day of football yesterday, it all winds down with tonight's Monday night game. Coming your way will be the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Aaron Rodgers and the Pack looking to bounce back. We'll see how this one turns out. Give you full details as Week 2 rounds down with NFL activity. And that's your check on sports for you here on this Monday. We'll give you full details on all the happenings from our local athletes as well as Monday Night Football coming your way tomorrow. Until then, I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. And we had a rainy weekend in the capital. Are there more showers ahead? Plus, they don't have any political affiliation, but cats are perfectly pleased election season is over. We'll tell you why after this.
How is your day going?
In a word, busy. 6 a.m. gym, 7 a.m. breakfast, 8 a.m. drop the kids to school, 9 to 3 back-to-back meetings with working lunch, of course, 4 p.m. pick up the kids, 4:15 dog groomer. Oh, but that reminds me, oh dear.
Is something wrong?
Yeah, I double booked my 6 p.m. Charity committee versus helping out at the kids' ballet. Oh, it's a tough one. I promised the kids.
Which one are you going to reschedule?
Neither. Divide and conquer. My husband can handle his own on the dance floor.
It's a good thing your money's been just as busy.
RF, keeping your money busy with investment products and services that match your needs.
The great True True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow our TV originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch our news Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to our TV originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonami.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctor's Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctor's Hospital.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
Are you?
Are you?
Are you?
Imagine. That's where every advancement begins, with an idea that things can be different, better. Now, imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
Welcome back to our news. Mostly pleasant conditions as forecasters monitor Peter and Rose in the Atlantic. Greg has the details over in the Weather Center.
Thanks again, Christina, and welcome back everybody for your second look at weather. 4 systems out there in the open Atlantic that we are watching. We have Peter, which is just to the north of the Leeward Islands, continuing to move towards the northwest. Swells will begin to affect the islands by Wednesday into the end of the week, so boating conditions across the island chain will become a challenge. We have Rose out there. Rose is going to stay in the open Atlantic, continuing to move towards the northwest. And then we have a very strong tropical wave moving off the African coast. That's the one we will continue to watch. All the models are showing that system moving very well towards the west-northwest over the next several days. Beaching and boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the east at 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. While in the central and southeastern islands, a northeast to easterly flow at 15 knots, seas running 3 to 5 feet over the ocean. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Saturday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe Monday night, everybody. Christina?
Thanks, Greg. Well, they say one man's trash is another's treasure, and that's definitely true for the cats at the Humane Society, who have given political paraphernalia a second home. Jillian Gray has that.
From the campaign trail to the cat cage. The Humane Society has found use for hundreds of political lawn signs that would have otherwise been thrown away.
We had a volunteer who was manned to cut cardboards for the cages, and she, driving I guess along, noticed that the sizes of the political posters was the same, and so she checked it out. And so after the election, we decided to reach out to the political folks and asked if can we use them, and everybody agreed.
Since posting about the initiative on social media, shelter manager Percy Grant says signs have been dropped off by the truckload. He estimates the current litter will supply cages with liners for the next 6 months. Now, these cats are not partisan to any party. They all simply want to just scratch, stretch, and sleep comfortably. And these signs allow them to do just that.
This cat is about as friendly as any politician, because from I've been in here, he's been shaking hands.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Tell me about the cats in here.
Well, the cats here are just getting ready to move into another room. Most of the cats sometimes come in with some fungal issue, and they're treated, and then they move to another room where they're eventually up for adoption.
In October, 130 of these cats will be taking a plane ride to a new home in Nova Scotia. But if you want to adopt a cat, Grant says the process is simple and easy. You can even get a free sign to go.
We do have enough to take home a souvenir, but I think this is a really good initiative, and I think everybody's happy that we're using them.
So regardless of your political affiliation, you can help out one of these friendly felines by bringing in those political posters. Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Thanks, Jillian, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.
Let's recreate. Trombone, if you've ever seen someone play, they just change the length of that bit that they're moving in and out. You can do the same with the straw in a bottle. That cold blue water is staying put. It's not rising.
We just did magic. We are the Central Left. We are the Central Left. We are the Central Left.
My name is Phaedra Mackie-Knoll. I got Rev Fiber early February 2021. I decided to change to Rev Fiber because I'm currently working from home. I'm constantly on Zoom meetings, GoToMeetings. My son is a gamer, and we stream a lot. So far, it's been a very good experience. When I'm on meetings, I don't lag, I don't buffer, I don't drop. We're not dropping. He's gaming. He's not lagging. When we're streaming, there's not much buffering going on. So it's been quite a rewarding experience. I would tell persons who have not gotten on the fiber to the home to please convert to fiber to the home. A lot of us are working from home. The kids are coming home for the summer, and we're all on our devices, and the experience has been really, really stable internet consistently.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All-day football